to the First Allegiance Podcast, where we bring on Allegiance players and discuss what's going on with each of our teams and discuss current topics in esports. I'm Connor InStiiNcT Hall, the owner of Allegiance, who will be the host of these podcasts, and we have two of our SMITE players, Kurt Weak3n Stray and Matt Copebby Irish. Welcome to the first podcast, guys. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
I'm pretty good.
Just chilling, just playing some SMITE up until now.
Good. Well, so how is the roster lock? That just ended 2 days ago, am I right?
I believe so.
So now all the teams are set?
I believe so, at least for now. I mean, anything could change. Like, people, you could always pick up new players. You never know what's actually going to happen in the SMITE rosters.
Yeah, of course. Well, and we've already made our own few changes. So, we've experienced that ourselves. And now we have Cope, the new guy, along with the new. How are you feeling being in the pro scene for the first time?
I got to earn my stripes. It's not too bad, though. I don't know, I just got to put in a lot more work. It's like an everyday process. It's just mostly like playing with people, getting synergy, and then working on my own game. But I don't know, it's pretty fun. It's been fun so far.
So I've never really followed like the amateur scene or the challenger scene, other than when I was picking up the original Allegiance squad with Incon, Lazes, Matty Pocket, Oceans, and then even Dare to Care. And that was the original team, and I followed them through that when they were going through the relegations. Where did you come from? I don't follow it, but I didn't even see or heard about what you were doing prior to this. How did you get noticed by this team?
Well, it's actually funny because during the time you picked them up, the team I was on played them in the open bracket. And I don't want to brag, but I did some work against them, but unfortunately lost. But I was jungling then. And then, I don't know, I've been playing the game for a long time, so I guess people just, people know me. Obviously this guy here knows me. I guess, I don't know, they see me play a lot, I put in the work, and that's kind of how I'm here, I guess.
Who was on your team then when you played us? And what was the team name too?
I don't even remember what the team name was, but it was just a bunch of guys I've been playing with. This was before, I had changed this whole lane role, which I'm doing now. And then they wanted me to jungle again, so I just jungled again. And I just so happened to jungle for the open bracket. And it was a close game. It was probably like a 35, 40-minute game. It was a really close game, but yeah. Well, when you have a whole bunch of ex-pro players, that kind of helps your team, especially in a late game.
Yeah, when they're called Team Flex and they just flex on you. You can't even counter that.
Oh, man.
Good. Well, what did Vanunu then do? Where did he come from? He was going to be in this season's relegations, and then he left for our team, right? So
Yeah.
What was, how did he get noticed, and why did you guys try him out?
It's pretty much the same thing. Literally coming up the same way. Challenger Cup, carried his team, played ranked a lot, and when you have to look, in SMITE at least, when you have to look at a certain role, you need to pick up a solo laner, you need to pick up an ADC, like Ben, it's really only 2 or 3 people you look at. So you look at those 3 people, you try out whichever ones you actually think would work with you, and then Ven was an easy choice. It was the second we played with him, me and Incon at the time were the ones making the decisions and decided right then we wanted him, we had to do whatever we could to get him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also played a lot of games as well. He's been around playing in Challenger Cup for a long time. I've seen him pretty much. I've been playing this game since beta for the most part, off and on, but I've seen him around in the Challenger Cup for a long, long time. So.
Well,
yeah.
And he's only 16, right?
Yeah, he's really young.
Yes.
Well, so he's been bugging me about getting his subscriber button on Twitch and getting that partnership. And I sent that in, and what really prolonged the whole process was that I had to actually get his mom's name and her email to give him permission to even be a streamer.
Yep, that's usually
the joys of being 18.
Yeah, with my last team, we had the same thing. Yeah, last team we had the same stuff. It keeps coming up when you go to LANs and stuff. They have different permission slips they have to get signed and everything. It's a lot different.
Yeah. Well, and then
you might be a chaperone.
Yeah, I might have to. I might have to be his babysitter. But then on the opposite side of the spectrum, you have Weak3n, who's now the oldest player.
Yep.
He's going to take care of me.
I'm gonna be the chaperone for all you guys.
Yeah, he's gonna be a chaperone for all of us. You know, with the car he drives nowadays, so he can probably chaperone all of us anyways.
He's the new dad.
One of you. I don't want to be the team dad. That can be InStiiNcT.
You are the team dad. That's just the way it is.
You got to be the leader too, man. You're the jungler. I mean, they're supposed to be the shot caller.
Yeah, I mean, that's easy. That's in-game stuff. I don't have to watch after a 16-year-old Ven and baby Copebby over here.
You know, InStiiNcT looks like the dad of the team, but him and I are like very similar in age. So.
Well, how old are you? You're like 23?
I'm 22, just like he is.
Ah, okay.
They're the same age,
Dang.
but you would never. No one would ever guess it.
Yeah, you would never guess it. Well, maybe, I don't know.
So, I mean, you guys already had a relationship prior to joining the team because you do live next to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we grew up together. I've known him since I was like 4
He
years
was
old.
4 and a crazy little kid, and then got old enough to play video games. We would play Halo all the time. Pretty much played every game that there is together at some point or another.
Did you guys join SMITE together, or was that something that one of you guys got involved with it before, and then...
He joined SMITE, and I was playing a different MOBA, and then eventually he was like, "You come play SMITE," so I came and played SMITE, and then, the rest is history.
We played World of Warcraft together, played Heroes of New Earth after that, went back to World of Warcraft, and then SMITE, to me, is like a mix of the shooter games like COD and Halo that we played forever, and World of Warcraft Arena. So I was like, I'm playing SMITE, and eventually, he's always late to come over, but he always comes over after a few months to whatever game we're playing.
Alright.
Oh, man, always late.
Always.
Well,
Yeah,
because with the crew, you don't want to spend all the money and everybody not want to play, so it's just like, alright, I'll wait and see if everybody's going to stick with it, and then I come play.
Oh, well, in high school, when there would be new games coming out, unless it was Halo. Halo's always been my game. Shout out to the Halo scene. Love that game. That's going to be forever my go-to. But any other game that I was looking to purchase on the Xbox, I was one of the last people to get it because I wanted to see if everyone else got it in my friend group. I didn't want to buy it and be the only one. Games are $60, and when you're in high school, that's kind of a heavy cost.
Yeah.
And I was working at Panera my entire career in high school.
Shout out to Panera.
Yeah.
Some good food.
Our newest sponsor.
I wish.
Gonna be on
Oh,
the New
please. Chipotle or Panera, either one. You go there every day.
Ooh. I could go for some Chipotle after this.
I had it yesterday. I could eat it again still.
Good. Well, so, did you guys do anything outside of gaming together? Was that all the relationship was?
I mean,
we did everything together.
Yeah, like your not like real team stuff. He's a lot younger than me. Obviously, I'm 25 now. He's 22.
Well, you're the dad,
but
so.
like basketball, we play all the time. Football, baseball, literally everything. Like anything that a normal 5-year-old kid would do, we pretty much did together at some point. I've literally known him for that long, and we lived like 10 seconds away from each other for, I don't know, the first 15 years of our lives.
Not even 10 seconds. I can see his house
Yeah.
right now, so.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
you guys seem like dang, if it's been since you were 4, that's quite a while. And that's something, too, where gaming has brought me to, closer to so many other people. And having that, relationship's always nice to have. And to have a competitive player. Are you guys, pretty good at every video game that you guys play, or is it strictly, SMITE was the one that you guys really excelled at?
No, it's...
I mean, I think both of us, when we play a game, we don't play to just play usually. We play to, win.
Yeah, if we get in a game, and if we like it, we're going to get good at it. And that's just how it works out. Every game I've ever played, I felt like I could play at a competitive level when I was younger. Didn't really know how to get into it. And he was younger than me, so I know he definitely didn't know how to get into it. And then SMITE was really the first game that was easy to kind of figure out and just jump into because you could just sign up for a weekend tournament and show up. It was you had to be the best player, the best team. You could figure out where you were kind of on that spectrum of all the SMITE players just by signing up.
And you joined it in the first season too, right, Kurt?
I was here before the first season. I entered into beta and then kind of figured out and watched everybody, figured out how it worked. Played it, and they had weekend tournaments where Saturday morning you'd show up, you'd sign up, and you'd play for the 10 hours until you lost, basically. And I played in that for 5 weeks in a row, did fairly well between 4th and 3rd almost every week. Then quit for a while and came back, and when I came back was when I got the chance to go right into a LAN on my first competitive team, really.
But then you had the downfall with a 667, killed the reputation.
No.
Had to come back from that.
I'm lucky that did not kill the reputation. I mean, lucky enough
I clearly didn't kill the reputation. Do you see what this guy's doing nowadays? Just
He's killing
whatever
it,
he
man.
wants in the SMITE community, like, for real.
The internet's just all about spinning whatever happens. Like, anything bad that happens, you can spin into something good. So if something kills you or hurts you, that's your fault. There's some way to make it a good out of it.
And that's true though, especially in this kind of scene, and like what we do here is like any publicity is good publicity, whether it's good or bad, because you can always benefit from it one way or another.
And with the 667 thing, that's something that you've embraced. It's not like you even hide it, and you make shirts of it, sell the shirts. And actually, before we got you in here to do this podcast, I saw that you retweeted something about your KDA and that being 6.67.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where a lot of people, if something bad happens to them, if they're a streamer, they won't stream until they feel comfortable again. And for me, it was like, all right, I'm streaming tonight, and it's gonna be a joke. Like, I don't know. You can turn anything into a joke, really. You can turn anything into something good. Like I said, it's just how you look at it, I guess.
Yeah, well, for the next topic, I know everyone's wanting to know how this new team's going to do in the next split. This is a pretty brand new roster. We changed out 3 positions and, have 2 rookies that are joining the team. Last year we had 1 rookie, Oceans, who excelled at the position. But now we have 2 new guys, and people are wanting to know if this is going to be a solid team and if they're going to perform to the liking, and if it was the right choice on our part with making these replacements. Are you guys excited for this upcoming Thursday match?
I mean, I am. It's my first match, so I'm excited.
I'm ready to see.
But if I had to answer that question, I would say there is definitely potential. I mean, it's just we still have work to do. We've only been together for what, 2 weeks now, if that.
2 weeks of practice.
So, yeah. But I mean, I think there's potential, but.
There's definitely team is there. Like a winning team is there. We haven't, like you said, we had 2 weeks, and right now it's tough finding scrims all the time because teams are still coming back. There was a mini LAN last weekend, so teams still aren't scrimming from that. But where we stand, I mean, the teams we've played, we've either done better than I thought we would, or we've beat teams that, I don't know, like the fact that we're already beating them is a really, really good thing. I think the first week is going to be kind of like a testament to where we are and where we're going to be.
That answers my question about the scrims, and I was going to ask, how they were doing against these other teams, like how you guys were performing against like the lower end and the higher end elite teams, but it sounds like you guys are doing well and you guys are seeing quick results, but obviously things can change throughout the season. We made a change with a player, and that was with you Weak3n, and it showed immediate results, but at the same time, you can't always expect that. So I'm excited to see how you guys do. Who's the first match?
It's Denial, right?
Denial.
Yeah, I believe it's Denial.
Denial.
They're like usually a middle of the tier pack, but they picked up new players from the top team from last split. They have the mid and the jungler from their team. So realistically, right now, every team has, like, you really just don't know how they're actually going to perform because almost every team made a change. So it's whether those teams are actually the top teams now, who's the middle of the pack, who's the bottom. Could be anybody. We could be at the top, we could be at the bottom, we could be in the middle, just depending on who shows up and when they show up.
Yeah, I was going to say also, like, we haven't scrimmed that much, but from what I've taken away from scrims is that, like, there is potential for us to beat anybody, but at the same time, there's also potential for us to lose to anybody. So it's mostly on us, on, I guess, how we do, for the most part. I mean, so, yeah, it's just like I said, it's about the work we put in, and when, if we click at the right time, anything can happen.
Well, in last season, all the teams were pretty close. From what I heard from all the professionals and, the Allegiance players, they were saying that this is one of the most competitive seasons, and the skill gap is pretty tight between all of the teams. And a lot of the matches were toss-ups. I do expect that to be the same for the season, or is there becoming more of an elite level because now there's newer amateurs that are coming. You have the old veterans like Lazes and Maddie who have now left. But, you bring on these this new talent that was in the Challenger League, and even looking at Enemy, which has a lot of new talent, and them being one of the best teams in North America, it seems like anything can happen at this stage of the game. And I haven't, been really following the offseason as much. There is a lot of player changes. But do you think that it's going to be as tight of competition this season, too, as it was last?
I think it got even closer. I think once the roster apocalypse ended, or whatever it was, before last split, everyone thought, okay, all the teams are once again in a place where no one knows. They're all good. Like, they all have players that are good. Well, now, the players that weren't even known as good are playing well. Like, they caught up in skill level. So you don't know which team is actually going to be on top. It's really going to be either the team with the better decision making, not necessarily mechanical skill, or the team that's clicking. Realistically, it could be any single team could instantly be the best team for this split and go to Worlds. And you just right now, there's no way to know.
Well, and so let's say we do struggle. I mean, who's going to be the scapegoat? Is it going to be the rookie like Cope, or are we going to blame the old man?
If we have issues, it'll be like a team thing. It'll be whether we're not clicking or not listening to each other, whatever it is, because we've played teams that made it to LAN, and we can play against them as a team when we're together and we're doing what we need to do and everyone's on the same page. We actually very easily compete. It's not like that difficult. It's not like we are a bottom team in any way. It's just one, like you said, Cope needs to get better, Ven needs to get better, and then we all need to mesh as a team, and that it's simple as that.
As much as I love you, Kurt, and Cope, come on, who would you blame? You could blame on someone. Come on, Riley. You said you just beat him really bad in ranked matches.
Nah, I mean, I don't know. I'd probably blame myself, but that's mostly because, to me, I mean, I know every role is very pivotal in the game, but to me, like, my role is like the role where if you underperform, your team will suffer heavily, big time, because it's just, I don't know, you just get so much in this role that, yeah, I don't know. It'd be hard to blame anybody else, even almost regardless of what happens, probably.
When we do watch VODs, though, I blame InStiiNcT for just about everything. We see him running around on Athena trying to 1v1 people, and I have to put him in check and let him know he needs to be with me and needs to follow me around.
You know what? I'm glad you have finally put another name to it, because now it makes me look like the owner, the team manager, trying to already find someone to blame. So I'm glad we at least called Riley out. Next time Riley's going to have to be on here and, have a rebuttal. But
I mean, he is the captain. He's got to take charge. Right?
He's the leader. He needs to be the one that brings his team to victory. I'm excited, though. I think, I really got into SMITE with our first season into it, like with Allegiance. Before that, I never really watched it. I have SMITE on my Xbox because I kind of want to understand a little bit more about the game. But with our first season and seeing us get 6th place, I'm really hungry to see what you guys can accomplish with this new roster. It seems like things are looking promising, and I'm excited that now we have the season beginning in less than a week. So good luck to you guys again with Denial. I'm sure, we'll keep talking about it and seeing what we can do to improve for that match. But with that being said, I have SMITE on my Xbox, but last night I did just buy a new desktop. So I might need to get some lessons from you guys, or maybe I could be the new sub.
Easy.
Yeah, I mean, if we get, we place like first place, you can just fly us out and we'll stay at your house and teach you how to play SMITE.
You know what? I love that idea. Or maybe, I can definitely, we'll have the funds at that point to afford you guys to come out to my place. We can all have a good time, do our own little LAN.
I'm down. We can leave InStiiNcT behind and just have you play support. It'll be easy.
InStiiNcT wouldn't leave anyway, so he'll miss his everyday stream. There's no way he would come.
Yeah, man, he's got such a tight schedule on that.
Yeah, we give him a hard time. His normal schedule is wake up, go to the local diner, get his breakfast, and then come home and stream for 12 hours, scrim and go to bed, and just repeat every day.
In all seriousness, though, like, when does that stream actually begin? It seems like it always starts before I'm even awake.
Yeah, I think it literally starts at like 6 a.m. Eastern time.
It starts when
he looks like he just rolled out of bed every time, I swear.
But he shows up, man. I don't know how he does it. And just to stream and to have that like personality that early, no way I'd be able to do that.
No, especially not for
on that.
9 to 12 hours.
Man.
It's, I don't know. It's kind of like when you go to a restaurant and the waitress, if they have a good personality and they're nice all the time, you wonder how they keep up with it. I don't know how he does it.
Well, and when he does it that early in the morning, his audience is the EU, right? And he doesn't
Usually,
just appeal to North Americans.
Actually, realistically,
yeah, but then it leads into the afternoon time, so like I'm sure he gets a lot of people coming in as well.
You get a mix of everything. Honestly, SMITE is really, I don't know. People don't stick to their region. It's not. I mean, obviously, when you look at competitive, everyone's like either EU's better or NA's better, but when you're actually watching and you're involved with the personalities, people really do connect from everywhere.
Well, and yeah, you've experienced that a lot recently, or with the last year on your stream. I mean, how many subscribers do you have now?
Almost 1,200. I think we're getting pretty close to 1,200 subs, which is my most I've ever had.
Is that the most on the team between everyone?
Right now,
It
yeah.
is.
I have the most in Smite, I believe. Like, as someone who primarily plays Smite, I think I have 100 more than anyone else, at least.
Well, if I ever start hosting or if I ever start streaming with my new desktop, I'm expecting a host.
I'll think about it. I don't know. I gotta host like 10 players. I got everybody asking for hosts.
Cope, does he ever throw that your way?
He has. But
Let's
see,
talk
the
about
thing
this.
is,
Someone's not streaming as much as they
like,
should be.
well, part of that is I gotta fix some stuff with my stream. We talked about this yesterday, but the other thing is that when he hosts you, you kind of like for me, it's kind of like, man, I don't want the freebies, but then at the same time, I'm like, I'm not gonna say that. So
come on, you gotta take
just go with
advantage. And Vanunu though, he's been
know.
streaming quite a bit lately, hasn't he? And he's pretty new to this, but it seems like he's been doing it regularly.
Yeah,
he also streams with InStiiNcT because he wakes up at that time, so it's pretty good for him too.
He's also like really committed, which isn't.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
He does a lot of commentary when he plays, which is really good too for a lot of people, especially for like an ADC player, because it's like to me the ADC role is like pretty like highly mechanic and like a lot of mind games and like not mind games but like mental, and I think it's really good. I think that's really benefited him on his stream.
Yesterday, I think it was, I saw InStiiNcT made a tweet about him and Vanunu playing quite a bit and having a lot of matches. He's probably milking InStiiNcT for viewers at this point too, I'd say. I mean, man,
It definitely
InStiiNcT's
carries
huge.
over. It definitely carries over. Like, if me and Cope play together, and all the time people will ask me if he's streaming or if Stealth is streaming while I'm playing with them, and if you tell them yes, I'll even be like, bring up both streams, do a multi-Twitch or whatever you need to do. Just watch both. Like, support the team. That's how you do it. You don't need to listen to me. Just have it open, have his open, and watch whatever you want to watch it, whatever time you want to watch it.
Well, with the next topic then, this next season's going to be pretty different compared to, all the other seasons, I guess. I mean, like I said, I only watched the season prior to this one that's coming up. But the newest one is supposed to have 400% more lands. I saw it, I've received emails and I've even watched a couple of videos on what's to come. Are you guys excited about the new structure, or what's your guys' opinion on it? Do you like everything that they're offering?
For our situation, I do.
Yeah, and plus, like, yeah, I would say actually that's pretty much the big thing is like with our situation, I think it's really good for us.
What's the situation?
Right now we're going to a group stage, so we'll play for a month or whatever, and then you'll get a seed, and then you go to a group stage and play with four of you. Will go to a group stage or a group LAN at the same time, and then the top two teams from there will go to super regional. So for us, no matter how badly we do, it's all about learning. We could be last place as long as we figure our stuff out before that LAN. That's all that matters. Nothing else matters. There's no money difference. Nothing matters until we get to that LAN, show up at the LAN, win at the LAN, and then we're good.
And you said that there's your situation. Would you prefer to go onto, rather than being online, actually going into the LANs, you feel more comfortable being in person, or what was the situation you guys were talking about? You're concerned with?
For me, I know it'll be Cope and Ven's first LAN playing. Me, Stealth, and InStiiNcT have played at like a million LANs, it feels like at this point. But the reason I say our situation, last year around this time, I was first. I was the first seed. So if I'm first seed, I know I'm the best team. I don't want to have to compete against everyone else, I want to go and just take my easy game against the last seed team and make it to super regionals. Well, now they have to play everybody. And the fact that everyone's so close, it's good for us. Like Cope was saying earlier, whoever shows up that day could win. So if we go to LAN, we have experience on LAN. We'll have two new players that people aren't used to playing against. If we can get them hyped up enough to play on the right level, it'll be easier to take out a top team on LAN than online.
I'm more excited just to get to meet you guys. I didn't get to go to any events last year, and all of our conversations were just online, and we did all of our deals online and did all that content, through TeamSpeak. So I'm excited to actually get to meet you guys and then represent our colors. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, we can go get a beer together.
You know what? I love that. Although, what are we going to do with Vanunu?
We'll get him like
a sippy cup
McDonald's on the way or something.
We might need to hire a team nanny. I think that might have to be in the mix.
You can even drive?
The other thing is who's he going to stay with at any of the LANs?
We'll have to get him.
We're gonna put him with Papa and Con. That's what we're gonna do.
Me and Inkai usually room together because we both go to bed early. We go to bed at like 11 o'clock at Lance.
I go to bed early too. What? You guys give me crap for going to bed so
Well,
early.
Lands are different. Lands are try hard. It'll be cool to meet you though, because I've never met any owner or like anyone from any team I've ever been a part of. Like they've never come to a LAN and showed up. So you'll be the first one I'll ever actually meet.
Oh man, now I'm even more excited. You've never had like even a manager or anything like that come, or
Never.
Was it really?
Yeah, like I've been a part of. I think I've probably been a part of more organizations than anyone else in SMITE. Me and InStiiNcT have been part of the same teams every time. I've never met one of them. We had a LAN where they were hosting, so we did like meet them, but they barely spent any time with us. And all the other ones never like flew out to our Georgia LANs or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm excited for these first LANs. Now it's at this point where it's guaranteed that you go to a LAN. So I'm really excited to actually watch you guys in person, get to know you in person, and actually, officially meet rather than just talking online all the time. So that'll be great. I think that this is going to be a great season, even with the new team and having all of these changes. I mean, even though all the other teams are doing, like they've had a lot of their own changes too, I think we're still going to have a great chance of coming up top. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on here. Do you guys have any closing remarks before we end this?
I'd 1v1 weekend for real money.
I will literally dunk on you when we go to LAN.
Alright, don't even get me started. I'll 1v1 you in basketball and in
Okay,
SMITE.
well, now there's going to be a VOD of me destroying Cope in basketball
okay.
at LAN.
I'm going to swat that, dude.
We need a GIF. I think that's going to be the best for Twitter. We'll even tweet it out on our Allegiance one.
It's going to happen.
Good. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for everyone that watched. Please let us know what you thought about our first podcast. And you'll see us again soon with one of our Call of Duty players or our Halo team. So check out the next video. Thanks again. Have a good one.